Welcome back to All the Things Real. I'm Mel and I'm your host, and I like to keep things real. So I dive deep into the real lives of the real stories of people in the East Valley and beyond. We are looking for people that are in residential real estate, commercial developments, entrepreneurship, mental health, interior design. We are just designing our lives, and no topic is going to be too real. Follow me, Melissa. I'm a native of Arizona. We're going to keep it real. Okay, guys, welcome back to All the Things Real. I'm here with, now I can say friend, my friend and somewhat neighbor, and in the design industry, Jocelyn. Go ahead and, I don't want to mess up. She's the best last name, you guys.
Skogebo.
Yes.
Skogebo. It's Norwegian. My maiden name is Brown.
Oh, I mean, yeah, so much easier. But Skogebo is so fun.
It is.
I feel like it's almost like you could coin it, like brand it, like
Skogebo.
Like you're Skogeboed.
I like that. You've been Skogeboed.
Yeah, like you. We're going to be Skogeboed today.
Yes, yes.
Okay, welcome. Thank you, though, for welcoming us. We are in Jocelyn's now office, but it is a historic home. Tell us a little bit about it.
This was built, we've done a few, so I get the numbers, so don't look it up on me.
Okay.
But around the 1920s, this home was. And when we purchased it, it had been, the front porch had been covered, and it was kind of sort of a pseudo-Spanish facade, if you can even imagine.
No.
But all of this was preserved behind it, not in the state, but So.
And then this is where we scan to the amazing woodwork detail and the stained glass behind us that you probably can't see in this shop, but we'll scan it later and give you a nice little tour. What was the hardest thing with restoring a house or a property like this?
On this particular one, a lot of the character, the trim work, the stained glass was all here.
Yeah.
So it was more a matter of updating the colors. We had to redo the fireplace. We found some beautiful fire brick that felt appropriate.
So cute.
The kitchen was terrible. It had been redone in the 60s, I think. So we did fully custom cabinets and that. I would say the hardest part with this house, and it's typical of this style of home, is the floor plan, the layout of it. It's every room is attached to another room, so there's not like a really great flow. And by changing that up, I think would have taken away from the character of the home. So that, and we were doing this during COVID, so it just felt like the money pit, like literally.
Right.
And that's true of restoration in general, but this home felt very special, and we were very intentional about maintaining the historic elements in it.
Yeah. Was this your first historic home that you were redoing for yourself?
No, so we used to live in the Groves of Mesa, out east, and we had a big, beautiful suburban home, and I would drive through downtown historic Mesa and just kind of stalk the houses. My daughter went to a little preschool up in Evergreen for a season, and I would just be like, just dream of living in one of these homes. And there was a couple that was renovating homes down here, and she was blogging about it. She's very popular.
Is that,
so
I remember, you can mention, is it
Dory Understiller?
Dory?
And her blog was Tuesdays with Dory. Cute. And so I followed her. And then they decided that they were going to be moving out of state, and they put the house up for sale that they had redone. And so it's just over here on West 2nd Street. It's so charming, and she made it beautiful. And so we ended up selling our big house in East Mesa, which was just under 8,000 square feet.
Oh my gosh.
And then we moved down here to, collectively the home was maybe 2,400 square feet. And we have 4 kids. And with a 10-year gap between the 4, the oldest and the youngest. And so we moved down here to that house, and that's sort of how we ended up. That was 10 years ago.
But it was done?
It was completely done. Yes.
That's nice.
And then a neighbor across the street had called me up and was like, hey, I'm going to sell my house. Are you interested? And so we ended up buying that house and renovating it. And there's 2 apartments in the back and a house in the front. And it turned out really beautiful. So that was our first renovation experience there.
So that taught you a lot before touching this
Correct.
Cutie.
So then our neighbor that lives on the corner of this craftsman over here, she called me up, and we had just finished the one over here on McDonald, and she called me up and she said, hey, I think I heard a rumor, which is how things always happen, that they're selling the small house across the street. You should do it, because she knew it was preserved behind the facade.
Okay.
And so she called me up and she told me the name, so we reached out to the people that were maybe going to sell it.
Okay.
And they would only sell this house with the house next door, which we hadn't really considered purchasing. And so it was kind of a back and forth thing, and we ended up buying both houses. And so we kept this as a rental, my office, and then renovated the house next door.
Okay.
So that was house number 2.
Okay.
And then this was house number 3. So
I love that so much. And so any regrets, or what's the biggest lessons with that? Because you just downsized and also took on, though, it's a whole other ball game of the historic homes with all the guidelines and whatnot. What is something that you would say that you either regret, or that now you're like, because when you're saying that it's a money pit, now you're like, oh, this was a great investment. Probably.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. But at the time, I just kind of felt like, oh my goodness. Plus, during COVID, expenses changed. And, so
a lot of fear, right?
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Right. But no regrets as far as like, it wasn't a true money pit, right?
No.
Sometimes you just gotta take the risk.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely was a lot of fear, especially with the first one of kind of learning the ropes, learning what the requirements were for the historic preservation elements of it.
Yeah.
And regret-wise, it's been a journey. Like, we ended up moving from the house that we had originally purchased into this one next door. Yeah. And it's the oldest, longest occupied home in Mesa.
Really?
The main part of the house. So
oh my gosh.
It was built like 1890s.
It was?
And then they added on the living room and kitchen in 1920s.
Oh my gosh.
And then they added the bedrooms, back part on in like the 60s. And so
oh my god, I cannot wait to get to her.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's amazing. And the people before you just happened to, like, they bought them at the same time?
Actually, it was kind of interesting. It was the woman who lived in the home. Her name was Cecilia Burns, and her, I can't remember the name, but her son was like the City of Mesa Education Board.
Okay.
It'll come to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she lived there, and her sister lived in this house.
Oh.
And so I'm not sure who, I think maybe the sister who lived here had passed away, and they turned it into a rental.
Yeah.
And then she ended up moving into a care facility. And so it was a family that had these 2 houses, and that's why they were motivated.
So common down here, right? Because there are like, people don't understand. When I said something the other day, when I was trying to rehome some chickens, and I said, there's like a farm over here in Downtown Mesa, I'll see if they want them. And my dad was like, chickens in Downtown Mesa? And I'm like, yeah, they're on an acre. Like, you just don't realize how far back, and then all of a sudden you're like, how many properties are on one property? I love it so much. Especially it's almost like it's turning more modern day now, where everyone's trying to build these ADUs, and there's just so much more investment and profit, I think, with these huge lots that people don't realize they're still very huge. They don't realize even the smaller lots over here
have a lot of depth to them.
There's a lot of opportunity with, and that's why too I think it brings more of that community feel, because you can have multiple families, or like you guys. So you turned part of this home, you put up a wall, and you turned into an Airbnb
in the back.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a 1-bedroom, did a full kitchen, washer dryer. It's super cute.
It's so cute,
and it's actually been really fun, because a lot of people come down for spring training, or they'll.
Yeah, I saw you're booked out.
Yes.
Even next year.
Which is so fun.
Yes. Is that fun? Like, what did you learn Airbnb wise through that process? Was that your first Airbnb?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, is it fun with the whole, I saw that you guys have down to like just even your decor, a lot of the details, like a cute little
vintage wooden bat, you know, and it's like during that time, is it fun for you as like an interior designer, just throwing in some of those touches? And
I like it. What I like about how the Airbnb turned out was that it feels very boutique, in my opinion. Like I think it feels very cozy and unique. But as far as doing the Airbnb, we kind of stumbled into it, sort of like, what do we do with this layout? And it's been really fun to meet people, and they come for so many different reasons, so many random different reasons. Yeah. But they're very intrigued by the walkability. They love how the proximity to the restaurants and great places to go. Yeah. Or they'll come for the spring training, and they're just, it's just a fun mindset. Sometimes people are working, traveling, I don't know, specifically traveling nurses, but traveling workers that are working, and then, but then somebody that will rent it out for 2 weeks, and they'll just be chilling.
No way.
Cooking, having people over.
Oh, that's so cute. I know, I wonder, I have a lot of like out-of-state buyers right now, and I think it's because they're coming for vacation and like spring training, and then they stay in Airbnb, so now they're wanting to look for Airbnbs. And so I'm just interested in, especially the certain areas, what is like the most popular, like what's the percentage of people staying in your Airbnbs? Do you think it is just more seasonal with like what's going on with spring training, or is there, I have another friend that he has turned his house into an Airbnb, and he gets a lot of the students that are traveling here for nursing, massage, just because too, in like Downtown Mesa, the school the school that's down here. Do you notice what's your highest?
It's odd because we're pretty much booked out whenever it's nice, and we could just shut it down over the summer. Like it's just we haven't had a lot of interest over the summer, but there is a traditional bed and breakfast across the street. I don't know if you're familiar with that, and I'd be curious to know. I haven't chatted with them much about you know, what draws people there. But we'll have people here for weddings, or because there's a lot of
venues over here. I just feel like there's so much opportunity again with your setup that you've done is very smart move with putting up your wall.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's back up a little bit. You said you lived in the Groves before. What is that? What was that like to transition as a mom, 4 kids, especially where you're spread out age-wise? Let's think, did you say 10 years ago you moved over here?
10 years.
And so your kids are in what grades, and are they still going to school in the East Valley, in the Groves area?
Yes, we ended up boundary accepting just because my husband went to Mountain View. And our daughters were at Mountain View at the time. Our oldest had just started driving, which worked out very well. And our youngest was still in elementary, and they had all gone through that particular elementary. So we stayed there. So I did a lot of driving. I did the pickup at elementary, wait an hour, pick up at junior high.
I'm in that right now.
Yes. And you know what's funny, now that I'm an empty nester, I look back at that time, and I just remember being like,
I'm a very big right now.
Yes, well, trust me, you'll look back and you'll be like, that was such sweet time when we were like burning an hour at Jamba Juice, or
I'm like sleeping in the parking lot at 9 p.m. at baseball. For my fourth time over there for the day.
You won't believe it, but you'll be like, I missed that.
Oh my gosh. I hope I can. Otherwise, I'm like about to be like, okay, you're done playing sports. I hate that. So
anyway, don't go pro, right? Like
I know.
And you're like, not that I ever thought anybody was going to start
like baseball, and I'm like, are you sure you don't want to do golf? I'll drive for golf.
Golf is great. Right?
There's more. You're gonna more likely get a scholarship for golf than baseball or something. I don't know. My kids create sports though. Okay, so that the driving back and forth, I'm sure that helped. Yes, with the 16-year-old. But what is that like, especially in Mesa, and probably at that time too? How does that feel? And what is like the biggest obstacles, or because I have my personal experience going through that too. What do you have to share about that experience, and anything that you could share? Any good stories? Or I would think that too, like your friend group doesn't change, but it's crazy. Just being 10 minutes away, I feel like you're in the city. Right?
Absolutely. Like you've moved
this
to
urban
a whole
life.
different, and your friends that are living more in the suburban area are kind of like, oh wow, like, there's actually now a lot more interest. Back then, everybody I think was kind of like, you've moved to the other side of the world,
Right.
But it is interesting how close it is proximity wise and how different the experience is. But so our kids, it's kind of funny because we have 2 daughters and 2 sons, and that's the age. The girls are older, 4-year gap than the boys. And so my one daughter would laugh that we lived in a gated neighborhood in suburbia. Like it was pretty safe. Yeah. And I would, like, they'd ride their bikes around, but she would laugh that she was never allowed to leave the gates. So she had never left the gates of that area. Yeah. And then, so when we moved down here, obviously there were some elements, especially 10 years ago, it was different.
Was the light rail even in yet?
I feel like they were constructing. Like it was coming. Because
I
remember the novelty of riding at the first time and being able to just walk. Right. You really can roll your suitcase down to the light rail and go to the airport and fly somewhere else. Yeah. But I remember kind of worrying about the boys, and some friends of ours actually ended up moving into the house across the street and renting it from us, but so they would walk over to go visit their friend, and I remember worrying, like, oh my gosh, are they going to look? They're not used to watching for traffic or anything, and they were little. Gosh, I would say maybe 2nd and 4th grade. Yeah, and I'm like watching them.
That age is too where you just start kind of letting them play in the gates.
Right, absolutely. And they're going to a destination, so and I'm trying to be brave, and I'm watching them out the window, and my husband's with me, and they get to the crosswalk, which it's pretty large. It's anyway, so the older one reaches out and grabs my younger son's hand, and you see him look both ways, and then he crosses. So it's, and you see those, I don't know if you've ever seen that TV show of the little preschoolers in Japan, and they send them out on adventures, and like they're perfectly capable. Yes. So all that being said, I feel like they had a very different, a little bit more urban experience, and a little more diversity, which was the goal too. Just in not thinking that everybody had the same social status. That's not a good word. Or like not everybody lives in a gated neighborhood. Yeah,
I call it a bubble.
Yeah, and thank you. That sounds way better. Social status, trust me.
Well, I mean, it is just 10 minutes, but it's, if that even, and I feel like I keep telling my kids that I want you to be able to wake up and have a different view on life, because you're literally now, instead of like, I would wake up before and sit in my front yard in my pajamas with coffee and still feel like I lived in a gated area, but I didn't. And then we went though, like, where I really threw them into it with like being on Main Street. But again, like, I'm like, that the fact that the first thing they have to see is like, oh, someone spent the night outside. Yes. And it just, I feel like it's, I don't know, like it's in a positive way of just not being too sheltered and not thinking about yourself, and really being able to understand like our choices make a big difference too, and like that we're not all just able to walk out our front door and have a picket fence around us sometimes. So I think there's just so many like positives for kids. Did your kids, now that yours are older than mine and they're like probably in all the same schools, which is funny. How did that affect them? Have you been able to get to talk to them like and compare? Like, I'm sure they were like, oh my gosh, Mom, my friends are behind these gates. And
right. It was harder to, we had to be more intentional about play dates and it what it's harder to make that happen. It doesn't happen as organically as like, oh, I'm bored after school, I'm gonna go knock on a door. So that's something I think that they were a little bit sad about. And then our youngest would be like, remember when we had the big house? We ended up hosting a lot of events for obviously the proms and homecomings. You get the pictures in your front yard with the cute porch. And
that's true. That's such a cute experience. I think their kids just don't realize too, like, I didn't have to go through it, but it's some of those things that I'm like, my kids are a little bit, they're still a little bit bitter about like, oh, can we go back to when are we going to move back? Or
Right,
I'm like, well,
right.
I don't know if we can move back yet.
But I think it's interesting because my kids definitely had that. They loved the novelty of being in the cute downtown neighborhood, and all their friends thought it was really interesting and unique. But I think now that I can look back at it, I will say that they're all very adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely have a good appreciation for the experience that they had down here. They love Downtown Mesa, and they were bold and traveled a lot. Like my oldest lived in Seville for a semester. Like I think because the urban experience felt so. Not to say that they couldn't have had that same experience had they grown up there, but I think they're over it. I think your kids are going to be just fine.
Well, and mine are kind of entering Downtown Mesa it's grown so much since yours were even small. So, and I will push them. I'm like, you can go walk there by yourself. And then I turn around and look at all the other adults. I'm like, that's okay, right? They'll be okay walking across all the lights. And so they're getting used and just practicing more of like, here's your purse, here's your wallet. You go by, and I'm like, oh my God, I would have never done that. I would have been so scared as a kid. Where they probably in opposite ways. Me growing up in Lehigh and like jumping on a quad or a horse and running through the groves barefoot and being out till my parents rang the bell on the porch at night. Very different, obviously, where they're on the phone. But I think there's again, pros and cons, but it's going to be overall a good experience.
Oh, absolutely.
So me and you, we met probably right when I moved down here, and we definitely have our circles that we run through. I think, ironically too, just being in Mesa, it's so small, big city. But I went to I think a city of Mesa. I don't know what it was. Do you remember? It was like
it was an open house.
Was it for the studios?
It was at the.
Or was it something else at the studios?
It was something else at the studios, but it was still fairly new, and so they wanted to do it down there, and that was for the historic preservation.
Yeah, and there was just like anyone and everyone that's a part of Mesa was down there, and I remember your name had come up with once people knew I was down here. Some of the people that I don't know, go to a lot of the meetings with and learn about the city, like the economic development, your name was like, okay, you need to meet Jocelyn. She's in your industry. She has the cutest house. She lives down the street. And then Jen was one too, Duff, council member Jennifer Duff.
Yes. She's incredible. She's been so
and
much
also has this amazing historic house around the corner. It's so cute. But I think I got to meet all of you guys around the same time, and I was on one of my regular like Saturday walks where it's like, what can we find? And in the studios, they had just I think finished it or redone it.
I think the upstairs wasn't even done yet.
Yeah, no. And then I was with my girlfriend Casey, who also owns a very popular restaurant down here, and you guys ended up knowing each other, right?
Through family.
Okay.
Actually, her parents lived across the street from my husband's parents growing up, and like still,
And you guys figured that out while we were just.
Yeah, we just
running into each other and meeting you. Yeah. And then ever since then, I think I'm just like, hey, come to this, or what are you doing? Or,
right? I'm always like, okay, if you're there, I'll come.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
You are my, like, I feel like I'm the one that sends you all those annoying texts of like, as a woman business owner kind of questions, like,
which I love.
What do you do? What are you doing for this? And I'm having a hard time like hiring someone doing this. I like to kind of get you. You are the best advice giver.
Oh, you're very sweet.
You first of all respond so quickly, and then you always just give like, okay, well, let's think about it this way.
I love your energy though. Like I love your bold. Like just go after it. I'm really in admiration of that.
That's so nice. I think we're opposites in a way, and I think that's why we're drawn to each other like I pull something out of you, but you also like pull something out of me, and
Absolutely.
rein me in. I love.
I'm like, take a chance, try something different.
I know. I'm like, hey,
Go
can we do
big.
a podcast?
Like, okay, sure.
Yes, I love it so much. Okay, so with that said, though, you're very involved in the city. You're on the historic board. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Jen actually had referred me. She reached out and said, hey, what do you think about joining the Historic Preservation Board? And I was like, I don't know. I'm not an architect. And of course, an interior designer brings so much to it now. But at the time, I was a little bit intimidated.
Yeah.
And I'd never sat on a board on a city level and been involved like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. I would highly encourage you.
I know.
Should look into it.
I know.
On top of all that
I'm on there somewhere of the I need to follow up.
Okay, yeah, you have a few things cooking right now, but
right.
But anybody that has an interest in that or sitting on any other board,
Yeah.
I've learned so much about how the city works, and I have so much more understanding and compassion for kind of the process. I think it's easy for us to be critical
Right.
when we sit from the outside, and it's like, oh, the city this, the city that, and the people make the city, and if you get involved, that's totally different.
Right.
You understand why there, in my perspective or realm, like why there's an overlay, why the historic preservation requirements exist, and you know, it affects property values and density, and there's just so many things. And the city of Mesa has worked very hard on downtown growth. I mean, you're more familiar with that than I am.
No,
but,
it's amazing. I feel like it would be almost like taking some schooling again, or like that's one of the reasons. And just even with interior design, people like will automatically think, okay, I need to hire a designer, right? But that doesn't mean that could be your cup of tea. You really need to study to be able to know and be knowledgeable about like the glass to the framing to and then plus all of the guidelines. So I just think that's just another step to add to our degrees.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I have a degree in interior design. I went to Arizona State. That's why I moved out to Arizona in the first place. But it's only just the tip of what you need to know.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
Right.
There's so many people that don't have the education background.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still.
It's like the experience.
Yes.
To me is always, and just how I learn. I'm such a hands-on learner that,
Absolutely.
like, I think the experience is like I just have to throw myself into it, and that's how I learn the best. Versus just sitting there and coloring and.
Well, and I think that you have such a quest for knowledge, and like me, like want to understand why things are the way they are and how they come together.
Right. Yeah. And then you kind of can connect all the puzzle pieces together. And for me, that's why I just stay involved with the city of Mesa, because again, it's like, oh yeah, I should join the historic board because it's just gonna be another little. I don't know. It's just another extension of me, I feel like. Oh,
absolutely. And it's not even. I've been able to. It's not just downtown Mesa. It's all over. Yeah. It's the neon signs. It's all of that.
Yeah.
And kind of understanding just how city works.
Yeah.
Too.
Right. Because it's all connected, right? Yeah.
And I think we should be very proud of our city. I mean, they've worked so hard. My perspective is always downtown Mesa, and I've seen so much. But like thinking of how big Mesa is and how it's huge.
Yeah, it spreads. So do you have an interest in any other boards, or do you think that you're going to try to stay on the historic board as long as possible?
I'm on my second term, and I feel like it takes a term to just get your footings and because when I first sat in that, I remember just sitting there thinking, why am I here? Like, what am I going to bring to this?
Right.
And I think I'm a vice chair now, and I'm always like, okay, I want the president, not the chair, the president, to do all the speaking instead. But anyway, that being said, yes, I don't really, I can't think of any other boards that right now that are a good fit. But
I feel like you guys probably are so involved though too. What's hard is it's a lot, like time and volunteer. You've said, I think in the past, that you've had your properties on the tours, right?
Oh, the historic home tours? Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. When do they have those? How do people find out about the tours?
So it's changed over the years on how they've done it, but the
Okay.
proceeds go to the Mesa Historical Museum,
Okay.
which they just opened the baseball museum as a part of that.
Oh.
And that's down in Lehigh.
Okay, yeah.
And they redid the theater there, and that's now the baseball museum.
Okay.
And so they had reached out to me when we first moved down here.
Okay.
And we opened up that house,
Okay.
and we were on the tour. And then when we renovated across the street, so anyway, we probably opened one of the houses up 7 times.
Yeah.
And been on the tour. And my husband does it with me too.
Oh.
And oftentimes it'll be in the morning, and then people will just go to different locations
Okay.
or different homes and walk through them, like a walking tour
Yeah.
that you can drive.
Yeah.
And then this last year they did it at the Ponderosa House,
Oh.
it was so different, more mid-century modern
Yeah.
homes on it. And so we volunteered at that one.
Okay.
And had the best time.
Really?
Like getting to know the owner there. He's just a delight. So
That's awesome. Does the board, are they the ones that organize it and put it
no.
on? Oh.
So it's actually organized by the Mesa Historic
Okay.
Museum Board.
Oh.
Historical Museum. Mesa
Okay.
Museum.
Interesting.
And so they just, it's independent of the board.
Okay.
It's just they had reached
Yeah.
out and asked us to do it. One year it was a Christmas. Yeah, normally it's in January,
Okay.
but they did it before Christmas, and we ended up, that was here, and we had a Christmas tree.
How
and
fun.
It's very fun.
Oh, so how in advance, like how can someone find out those details?
They social media.
Okay.
They do all kinds of different ways to advertise it, but
Okay.
it's usually tickets will go on sale. I think maybe a few weeks beforehand.
Okay. I don't know how I've missed like so many.
I'll text you next
Yes, please keep me on the short list.
Yes, yes.
I love that. Okay, so what else is currently going on with you? And you seem busy, and you're traveling. You're always traveling. I'm so
We do.
jealous.
We've been really fortunate. We've gotten to do a lot of travel. We were just in Costa Rica, which was really fun. And
So fun.
until my husband got food poisoning.
He got food poisoning?
It was terrible. Yeah, I've never seen a man suffer so much.
Oh my
Except just
gosh.
man flu. Like he was so sick.
Did you like the food there? Speaking of, like on a side note.
Yeah. I've been to Costa Rica 3 times,
Okay.
and I have celiac disease, so
Yeah.
like I have to be really careful
Right. Yeah.
what I eat. So a lot of beans and rice.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only I think I've only gone once, and it was an all inclusive, and I just felt like I ate corn chips the whole time.
This was an all-inclusive, which is not our normal thing.
Yeah.
But it was for business.
Yeah.
And I ate a lot of chicken and rice.
Yeah.
But not to say that I haven't had exceptional food
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So,
I know.
but,
That's why I'm like I wonder if I should try not doing all inclusive to get
that would be
better
my
food.
advice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Eat very well.
Yeah.
So traveling, our oldest daughter is expecting our first grandbaby in 2 weeks. So she lives in San Diego. So I'm
Oh,
very
okay.
excited. We're kind of like waiting to get
Yes.
the news.
Are you gonna be staying there for a while in San Diego?
Probably traveling back and forth.
Okay.
I'm actually in the process of contracting a new build
Yes.
myself,
Yes.
and well, with my husband,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Yeah.
just us, and so we're in the framing stage, and so we'll have to come back and forth.
Okay.
But I definitely will go over as much as possible.
Yes. Oh, that's so exciting. First grandkid. Oh my gosh.
So
You're too
excited.
young.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
Oh my
I'm not,
gosh.
but
That's so exciting. I feel like that's a whole other stage of like, I don't know, just like all the joys, like you were saying that you miss, the driving back and forth, but now you get to even experience it in a different way. You like the knowledge and the experience that you have raising someone, but then now you get to love another baby that's not yours but yours.
Right? I can't even,
Exciting.
honestly, I'm a slow processor. I haven't
Yeah.
really fathomed it other than
It's like surreal.
it is.
Aw. And I feel like too, you with your span of age of kids, it's not like you haven't been around kids for a long time.
Right.
So you'll almost probably like be more hands-on grandpa.
I can't wait.
Yes, I love that. So, and then you're also doing a new build right now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you learning? What are you loving about that process? Because it's a whole other process.
It is, and I've done it with clients from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I've built a custom home in the past, but this time around, I've really designed it every little corner. And right now that it's getting framed out, it's magical to see how the windows are framing out the view. And as I love working with the trades, you must as well.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your experience,
You learn so much, right?
Yeah, if you go in with an open mind, not always. Sometimes I'm guilty, but but having a really strong vision and seeing it grow.
Yeah.
For a project that is my investment.
Yeah. Are you though, like me? I would always change something when I'm on site.
It's interesting that you asked that, because there were some some little return walls in the primary bathroom, and the architect had drawn them in, and I had removed them, and then they went up, and I thought, I think maybe I'm going to work within this. It changes it a little, but there's a few things, but a lot of them, I think, because it was for my own project, that I really overthought it ahead of time.
Okay.
And I tend to be very much like do all the planning ahead of time, but there's always something that you don't see.
Yeah, sometimes just actually feeling it is like, you don't know until you know. But I feel like that is probably your expertise. You are so methodical and technical. We would be great partners. Just kidding. No, I love like on the fly decisions and change or coming up. Like sometimes, again, I have to leaving a design consult is when my wheels it'll be in the shower at night the next day, and then it just floods in different ways. Where sometimes when I'm in it and just looking, especially on the floor plans, I'm like, I have to go walk it, which can just be horrible as a designer though too, because you're like, this is a lot of time where I'm physically, I just have to be by myself and walk the space.
Right, and I always wish can you bill for that 2 hours you lay in bed?
Yeah,
and think about somebody's project, because I lost sleep over this.
No, really.
But out of inspiration.
Yes. I mean, that's how I am regardless, and I just know up front, this is gonna take me more time.
For sure.
Losing sleep, right?
And like you're saying, you walk the site and you see things. I think I do that time ahead of time, and walk through, and I can tell I've overthought so many things. But,
But
it's hard to bill for that.
It definitely is. And for yourself though too, do you feel like I don't know, I have another girlfriend that's in the industry, and she's building her own house right now, and they can't break ground because she just keeps changing. She can't make decisions, and how do you go through that process for you?
That's an interesting question, because I was just working with a trade, and he's like, I have to ask. I ask every designer I work with, how quickly do you make a decision? And I said, well, it depends. For me, if I'm making the decision for me, it takes longer. But if I'm making it for a client, so much faster. And I want to give them the confidence to know that I've thought about it ahead of time. Yeah. And because there's so many decisions that have to be made, and at the end of it, people just see the whole picture. Right. So I'm learning more and more, I'm overthinking this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's hard not to overthink it, right? People just don't realize every little detail. That is one of my questions that I ask everyone too. They're like, okay, but what's the timeline? How quickly can we get this done? I'm like, it really depends on you.
Right. Absolutely.
How quickly are you? That's the very first inquiry they have to fill out, is how quickly do you usually make decisions? And do you get numb? Do you get stuck? And or how involved do you want to be in the decision making? Because we can, I think, for people, be like that, but for me, I'm like, I can't even think about my own.
When you're doing your own project, but with clients.
With clients, I can So that can really help if the client, to me, let's go. And like,
Right.
I trust you, right?
And you have an incredible vision.
Mm.
So and if they trust you with that.
Yeah,
like,
right. Then
it's
the
in
more,
here, right?
and the
Trust
more
me.
freedom, I think, for us to be creative,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's hard sometimes to be creative, at least for myself, because I have to like have enough space in there, you know?
To process, have to
Yeah.
think on it.
Right.
You're so right.
Yeah, sometimes to take that hat off. So, do you feel like, is it hard to jump from hats, like from a project on your own to someone else's project? How do you choose how many projects too to do it?
Well, it depends
time.
on how big the projects are, of
Mhm.
course. Like doing the ground up with my last client was 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing other smaller projects
Right.
in there. But I don't know that I could handle. I'd have to hire more
Yeah.
to take on a couple of ground ups. I was
Yeah.
talking to the architect that we're working with on this build, and he was like, "Oh, I have 20 houses going right now," and I was like, "How do you," and he has like one other person in the office.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure they're all at different stages.
Yeah.
But I was
Still.
really, I thought my brain, and
Yeah.
I just couldn't
Right.
do that. So.
Yeah. I don't know how people do that either. I feel like you've got to either have your process or systems,
Mhm.
or you are like contracting out all your drawings and things like
Mhm.
in the Philippines or something.
Right, exactly.
Because it is a lot. My brain wouldn't be able to take it. Plus, I'm like, hey, let's do a podcast.
Right? I love that. Literally all the things.
But then sometimes it's hard for me making business decisions where I get a consult that is like just a styling, decor, furniture
Mhm.
package, and I'm like, that's what I need right now.
Oh, sometimes it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
It's the creative, and sometimes you
Mhm.
just don't have the bandwidth for a project that small. But
Right. Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
you just go out and you like refresh all those
Yeah.
little triggers.
Yeah.
and-
I feel like that is what sometimes your creative side might need. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, ooh, this will be a fun one. But then, yeah, there's sometimes where you're like, I cannot take on just a little guy right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm taking it on. I know better, but
I
I'm
know,
doing it anyway.
I know.
It's so good.
Because sometimes the little ones, if it's for me, I will like just do too much probably and not charge enough.
Absolutely. It's a fine line. I always have this conversation with my husband about what's more profitable, a big project
Yeah.
or a bunch of small ones.
Right.
And I sometimes feel like consultations can be more, I mean, it depends. There's
Yeah.
different schools of thought
Right.
on it. But.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, so besides you have a build going on, you have a grandbaby coming.
Mhm.
What else is going on? I know that we had a little shared love hobby for a while, pickleball.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
And you and your husband pickleball together, and you were doing yoga. Are you guys still?
We do hot yoga together, which is, my kids are like, I think you guys do more together than most parents
think so,
do.
too.
Like,
I love that though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great,
great.
that you can with 4 kids. That's great that you guys have kept those interests together.
Yeah, we've been all the hobbies. We've done triathlon, or he's a beer brewer, a home
A beer brewer.
brewer.
Yes, I
And,
know.
so yeah, there's always something. But the pickleball's been really fun. It was kind of becoming an obsession. I played in the PPG
Okay.
tournament,
Okay.
big one out there. A friend of mine was like, "Let's go do this," and
Wow.
okay. And so we get there, we're like, we're so in over our heads.
It's so
And
fun
it was
though.
windy, and so
Ugh,
we lost every
The
game.
wind's the worst.
But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And we've made a lot of friends doing
Mhm.
it, like some really incredible friends.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's one of those things that you have the best people walking across your front yard right now. I just have to say, is it still St. Patrick's Day? Or maybe these
that
people,
was-
or
well,
maybe
days
these are your
ago.
Airbnb guests.
Oh, they may be. Oh, yes, they are. There's a little
These
St.
are
Patty's going on there.
Yeah, I was like, and it looked like a leprechaun just jumped out.
They should be here. They should be. I wasn't privy to the view. But that's
Oh,
fantastic.
Sorry, I was like, oh, you have someone bringing a pot of gold up your driveway right now. Maybe they came from an A's game, actually.
I
Spring
think
training.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's so
Sorry. Then you quickly scanned across it. What was I asking? Pickleball. I don't know what I'm saying
hobbies,
now.
what's new.
And pickleball, like we got to play with each other, right?
We did. You're good. You're
No,
good for
I'm-
somebody that claims they don't play.
But because I had just started, like I took 4 lessons, I think, and then I just it was that summer, not this last summer, but the summer before, maybe. Oh my God, time goes by. But where my kids like were gone for 20 days, and so I was like, I'm gonna try to play every day, and I got to like July, and then it just burned.
Yeah.
But it gets obsessive, like.
It's obsessive.
And that's what I was gonna say about people. It is the best sport. Why I love it too is because we're literally playing with like an 80-year-old and a 19-year-old, and it's like you can
There's
play
no, yeah.
at different levels. Obviously, there's some people that don't want to probably play with me. But
Well, and it's funny too. Like sometimes the 19-year-olds they have the athletic prowess,
Yes.
but the 80-year-olds are like they'll swamp you. Like
yes, yeah, you're like, oh, you played tennis, and there's
Yeah.
some skill here. Yeah,
Here I am.
it's one of the best like social, and I think it brought out like it reminded me at least my athletic like competition. I'm not like the best
Right.
like pretty tennis player skilled, but I'm very competitive, and I'm like I will go to the net and dominate
There's
you.
will be blood.
And then you
Don't
don't
spray
realize
that
though
out.
too, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this was a little bit, I'm out of breath. And
You get
Dripping a
great
little.
workout.
yeah, you can kind of pick how much you want to put into it, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's so fun.
Highly recommend.
Yes. Okay, let's follow up with some last questions. So, Mesa, do you have a favorite go-to date night? Like, you guys are foodies, but also it's got to be celiac friendly, right? Where would you
absolutely.
recommend for someone visiting the East Valley? A favorite
There's so
spot?
many great places here. But in Mesa, I love the Guadalupe. Like their food's so good. I
know.
love that. I love that Dirty Mike started out downtown, and like I love everything about their food. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
we've now turned it into. We've decided we're going to do every other Sunday family dinner there.
Oh, that's
Because
great.
every time we go, we're like, it's so close, and it's not like in the hub of downtown Mesa,
Right.
but it's not far, and it is phenomenal. The
Mm-hmm.
food is so good, and they have so many gluten-free options and celiac, and I think they even sell wine to go that is
Oh.
celiac and or at least gluten-free. Yeah, they said that was been a big thing for them bringing business.
It's almost like a sleeper
Yeah.
thing. It seems
Yeah.
like, and their menu seems to have expanded. Like
Yeah.
we went for Valentine's Day, just
Oh, okay.
for
Yeah.
friends, and yeah,
Sounds so good. I actually want some chips right now.
I could
Their
totally eat some
fajitas,
chips.
oh my god, so good. And their cocktails are amazing. What's-
So fun.
What is he was a bartender at another restaurant previously. What are they? Dirty Mike.
Yeah, Dirty Mike's.
Yeah.
And they did all the fancy drinks with the bubbles.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and he was out waiting on not waiting on the tables,
Yeah.
but visiting on Valentine's
Yeah.
Day, and like that's what makes it so unique
Mhm.
about being in downtown Mesa as opposed to
You see
some
the
other
owners.
downtowns. Yeah,
Yep, I love it too.
less chains.
Yeah, we sit at the bar. That's why we always like to sit at the bar if it's just the
Mm-hmm.
two of us, because usually the owners are there, and get to experience and catch up, and yeah.
So they just need to replace those bar stools.
Oh my gosh! Okay, I'm glad I
We
didn't
could
say
do
it.
like a-
I didn't say it, but
I'm sorry, guys, but
because like this, right?
it's all wrong. The scale is wrong. Maybe we should like petition.
You're gonna slide down, or you have to grip your feet, or
You got to find that bar to hold yourself up. I mean, and I'm not drinking that much.
No, yes, I'm glad
bar
you
on the
said
stool,
it. Yes,
so.
I feel like, is it Taco Chi? Taco Chi was just, we went last night. They changed their stools.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I had the same issue where your feet, you have to like end up putting on like resting it like this,
Or, like, sitting like this.
yes,
It's all wrong.
Call Jocelyn. She'll help you pick out some stools.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I love that too. That's so funny. That's another reason why though I wouldn't want to sit at the bar. You slide. Oh my gosh. But it's a cute atmosphere. They've got some great, like, cool vintage pieces there. And there's this, it looks like a speakeasy library door.
Okay.
But it's a tattoo shop inside of the Guadalupe. Did you know that?
What? Oh.
Yeah. It's a hidden room, and there's a guy that he has his tattoo shop in there.
Tattoos.
It's right off. It's right off of the bar, and it looks like a library door.
How fun is
Isn't that funny?
Okay, well now I have to go back tonight.
Yeah, maybe we should do a podcast there, and
Oh, that would be great.
or just schedule a tattoo. It hasn't been open when I've gone, so I haven't gone inside of it. But I need to go
Okay.
see it.
And they have all the unique cups.
Yeah.
They put so much for their specialty drinks, so much work into that.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, if you have any other hidden gems in the East Valley, as far as like hiking or shopping or sightseeing, anything with living over here that you think
Specifically here or
just
in Mesa?
in East Valley. I mean, even you have a lot of projects around the valley, so where would you recommend going? And not like everyone's gonna always say, "Oh, go to Camelback," but
Right.
actually, a lot of people shouldn't do Camelback.
So
It's
true.
it's a very hard hike.
We used to take our boys every Wednesday. We would hike Camelback when they were younger,
Yeah.
and then go to dinner afterward.
Oh my gosh.
And now I look back at pictures and I was like, oh, our youngest was so young.
That is amazing. I
He's
think
like
mine
slipping.
would. Yeah, mine would probably. No, they wouldn't do that.
Well, I don't think it was their favorite memory,
No.
but we had a great time.
That's cute. Anywhere else other than Camelback?
Let's see, hidden gems. You should have prepped me ahead.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not
that's-
professional.
No,
I like to just.
that's way more fun.
Yeah. A place that you'd recommend shopping, or let's see.
Well, we do, one of our favorite things to do is we walk, which makes us sound like we're 80. But
No, it's the best.
we used to do triathlon and like run and just like, you know, my husband just had knee surgery.
I know.
So, but
my everyone on the staff, they all
run.
Stupid. I hate that word. They all run, and I'm like, God, to be in their 20s.
yeah, enjoy your knees.
Yeah,
Enjoy
you should
your
walk.
knees, yeah. But we walk a lot, and we'll walk through Evergreen.
Okay.
We'll walk the canal back around. We'll walk to Fraser Fields, walk past the temple, walk downtown. And there's the farmer's market on Sunday mornings.
Yep.
The farm is over there. In different times of year it's better than others. But as far as who's out because of the heat. But really that's like really
Just walk
makes us
around.
feel connected to our homes, my husband's hometown.
Where
Born
should
and
someone
raised here.
park? Come down to Downtown Mesa and go for a walk. Where are they parking?
I guess probably I would say park downtown.
Okay.
Love
And
the
then north?
and then head north. Do the
Do
loop
the-
through the
on McDonald.
historic. Do West Second Street Historic District. Walk through the Evergreen District.
Okay.
Come back down. Finish up with some coffee at either OBC or I love the matcha at Pear.
Okay. Oh, I love pear.
So good.
We've met there. So good.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a gluten-free, or there's pretzel place that's gluten-free. Pretzel gluten-free dedicated restaurant.
Against the green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth, obviously, Espiritu Chivas.
We walked last night the Mormon temple. They are practicing the Easter pageant.
Isn't that the best?
We went and got Twister's yogurt, and then
Okay.
we walked over and we sat there and watched almost the whole thing. And because we can hear it, it's so loud. I was like, this is the best hidden secret, because you know how crazy it gets, like with the parking and everyone going to it or whatever. And if you're like in a certain religion or not, if you just, it's so lovely outside right now. The second the sun starts to go down, even though it's so warm during the day, go grab some ice cream and bring a lawn chair. It's the grounds at the temple.
They are beautiful.
It's like you're like, am I in Versailles? I don't know.
Well, and
they're so beautiful.
because we walk it so and we don't attend.
Yeah.
But because we walk it so consistently, they put so much effort into the plantings and seeing the whole thing get set up for the Easter pageant and then the Christmas lights.
Yeah. So it was pretty phenomenal last night seeing their new, to me, set. And since they did the whole remodel, they've really thought about the grounds for when they if you're not from around here, the Easter pageant put on by the Mormon Church is a very big event. So go right now before, I think it starts next week. So by this time, it'll already be started. But
okay, next year.
Yeah, but next year, sneak in there while they're practicing. Don't tell the security guards. The donkeys and sheep. Oh my God, it was so cute.
Oh my goodness, I've honestly never attended. I've only walked past while they're practicing.
Go tonight.
Okay.
If you can, go walk over and just have some.
While they practice.
Yeah, and they have really good ice cream next door too.
Okay, we walked past that too.
Yeah,
so.
but I've been trying to support the new Twisters.
Yeah, it's so lame that going for a walk, but literally it's we cook at home a lot too, but just going out and being a part of it.
It's a great way to really see the historic areas in Downtown Mesa, so you have to walk, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it too. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast and joining and letting us take over your space. I can't wait. I'm going to force you to take me on a tour now.
That's right.
Maybe do a couple fun reels. Hopefully Connor won't spit on you anymore.
That was really the highlight, truly.
What animal is that? A camel?
Is it spit?
It's a llama.
Llamas. We used to have neighbors that had llamas, and they would spit at you. It's
okay, well, you're used to it then. Sorry that I brought my llamas. Thank you so much. I love you so much. You are a beautiful human being, and I'm very thankful that you joined me.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a blast.
Look, this is very non-Jocelyn and me, but
we did it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to All the Things Real. If today connected with you, can you please share, subscribe, or leave me a review? It means a lot. I'm Melissa, and I'm signing off from the East Valley. In the meantime, let's explore all the things. This podcast was produced by Connor Greenwall, and the music Skyline Funk was by Alexander M. Thomas. I hope to see you guys next week, and I hope you also enjoyed this episode. Bye, guys.